Hi everyone, Materim here again with another battle report. And this one I'm going to have to give a little bit of explanation of the lead up to. Uh, as you'll notice, my last battle report was not me playing, I was observing. And there isn't a second one from that night because I did have a game with the Beastman player against my Vamp counts. And we played one of the scenarios out of the main book. And I brought it to him so hard that he surrendered after top of turn two. After I slaughtered like half his army. So I was kind of complaining to my wife about how I felt disappointed that I had only gotten in a turn and a half of Warhammer in all week. So she decided to dust off the Orcs and Goblins and bring them out and play my Empire in what she called a pity game. So that's the name of this battle report for you. So we'll go ahead and get into the board and the deployment now. Okay, so here's our board. Couple of things to note. The pyramid, tiny pyramid in the center of the board is a sorceress portal, so it's going to be blasting spells all turn. The little winged figure between that far hill and the forest there is a sorceress, or not a sorceress portal, a sinister statue, so it's going to cause some problems. So the hill on the far left is the Anvil of Vol. There's a mysterious forest, then a mysterious lake, which my cannon's hiding behind, and the hill in the top right corner is a scree slope that she put her Doom Diver up on. So it's pretty much what we're looking like for terrain. Let's go ahead and get into deployment. Okay, so starting on the left, Orc and Goblins, we've got a 20-man unit of Night Goblins with short bows, nets, 3 Fanatics, and a level 2 Shaman named Randy with a Dispel Scroll. Next to that is a unit of 20 normal Goblins with 3 Nasty Skulkers and full command in there. Then we have a Squig herd with 24 Squig and 8 Night Goblins in there. In the back is a 30 Savage Orc Biggins with full command. Hanging out with them is a level 2 Savage Orc Shaman with the Lucky Shrunken Head named BillyWitchDoctor.com. And in front of them is a unit of 5 Squig Hoppers with the War Boss, who is my wife's general. On a Great Cave Squig, he has the Ogre Blade and the armor of silvered steel. Then we have another unit of 20 Night Goblins with full command, nets, short bow, and 3 Fanatics in that. With them is a level 2 Shaman named Hat with the Iron Curse icon. Also in that unit is the Night Goblin Big Boss, who is her battle standard bearer with the Razor Standard. Next to that is a Mangler Squig, and up on the hill is a Doom Diver. Now, my army may look a little familiar to some of you who have been paying attention. This is just a growth from the Empire army I've been working on. The last one was at 1850 points. This is the 2000 point version. So starting on the left, I have a unit of 10 Inner Circle Knights with full command and the Standard of Discipline. Hanging out with them is Sir Helmut Veerbaden, who is my Grand Master General. He has the Sword of Might and the Dawnstone. Large unit in the center is a unit of 30 halberdiers with full command. With them is Felix Weishoff, my level 4 wizard to the Lore of Light, with the Dispel Scroll, Seed of Rebirth, and the Iron Curse icon. Next to that is Father Eric Rotschaff, my warrior priest with the armor of meteoric iron. Next to him is Captain Derek Hostberg, my BSB, who has a Sword of Battle, Enchanted Shield, Luckstone, and Potion of Strength that I managed to completely forget again this entire game. Behind that is my Altar of Moor, which you all know and love as my Celestial Hurricanum. Then I have a unit of 15 Spearmen with full command. In front of them is a unit of 5 Archers. Hiding behind the lake here is an Empire Great Cannon. Then on my right flank, I have now a unit of 4 Demigryphs, full command. They have the Steel Standard with them. And up front is my unit of 10 Halfling Huntsmen going after the Doom Diver on the hill. They have a standard bearer and a musician with them this time. So, Empire got to go first, so I went ahead and moved up pretty aggressively with the Knights on the left hand side. I know there's Fanatics to deal with there and nasty skulks in the Goblins, but I'm not super worried. Ideally, I want to hit one of those two Goblin units and then turn to face and just start sweeping down the line with the Knights. I know for the most part, except for a couple of the spells and the Doom Diver, the Orcs and Goblins are going to have a little bit of a problem dealing with all the one-up armor saves that my Knights have. So my overall plan is to just hit the Knights in on this side, hit the Demigryphs in on the other side, and just kind of have them meet in the center after chewing through her army. So we'll have to see how well that plan holds up. Everything in my middle kind of shutters up just a little bit. I'm really not trying to get too aggressive here because he's got the random bouncers, and I want to be far enough back so that I'm going to be able to choose the timing of when I hit that wall of savages. So I'm a little nervous about that, but I'm kind of holding a single solid line here in the center. Over here, my Demigryphs come up pretty aggressively, as do the and I just moved the Huntsman so that they can take some shots at the Doom Diver. I'm hoping to get a shots off. Maybe I'll get lucky, put one wound through, and I'm planning on charging them up the scree slope and fighting those goblins to destroy the Doom Diver next turn. So that's what my right flank looks like. My magic is all defensive. I get false protection off on the Knights, and my cannon sucks and doesn't hit anything. So we go into Orcs and Goblins turn 1. The Goblins come up pretty aggressively here. She's pretty much daring me to come get them. I think she... Oh, no, wait. She failed a charge here. But they're still coming up pretty aggressively, and she says, the worst case, she's going to pull me out of my position and be okay. Now, the Mangler Squig ends up here, as you can see, like an inch and a half off of the Demigryphs. Now, I'll go ahead and say up here, I'm not as afraid of this thing as I probably should be. This is the first time... My wife does not play often, and this is actually the first time I've faced a Mangler Squig. So, I'm a little twitchy about this being here, but I'm definitely not giving the thing the respect that it deserves. And because of that, I don't have the Huntsman close enough to jump on it, and I'm really kind of limited in the means that I have to deal with the Mangler, and that is going to prove to be a problem. Then in the center, during random movement, the hoppers end up covering about half the space between me and there, and I'm actually okay with this. I'm not super afraid of the hoppers, and with them being there, it's going to be the target for the Sorcerer's Portal, so I'm okay with that. Now again, I did kind of underestimate how kitted out she was going to make that general, so that was going to be a problem too. Over here, this group of Night Goblins just turns to the side. It's barely going to be able to see my Huntsman, so she's going to try and use its bows to take out my Huntsman before they get to her Doom. And then, of course, once she gets normal movement, everything else is coming up pretty aggressively. This seems to be as good a time as any to say that, unusual for my wife, she only failed one animosity check the entire game, and it was turn 6, and it gave her a charge she was going to make anyway. So, absolutely no animosity problems, so the Orcs and Goblins are coming on pretty hard. And over here on the end, she turns these guys just slightly so they get a better look at the Knights. I guess she's just going to try and pepper them with shots, see what sticks. They do have a 1-up armor save, but you throw enough attacks at that, something's eventually going to fail it. And during her magic phase, of particular note, she lands Itchy Nuisance on my demigryphs, which drops their movement by 3, which is going to be a big pain in trying to escape that mangler. There's not going to be any real good way for me to do it at this point. Then here she ends up trying to use the Doom Diver to land a hit on the demigryphs and shoots it 10 inches basically back towards it. And even after the correction, all she manages to hit is the Huntsman unit. And then she just rolls like absolute garbage. And so only one Huntsman dies to a hit from the Doom Diver, which I was just absolutely thrilled about. I'll take that all day. Then the other, or I guess maybe that first one was the archer shoot and took one, and then the Doom Diver takes another. So 2 dead Huntsmen, and again, I'm absolutely thrilled with that. If she's wasting turns taking down 1 Huntsman at a time, I'm going to be very, very happy. So we go into Empire turn 2, and my Huntsmen attempt to charge up the scree slope. I know I may be dealing with dangerous terrain, whatever. What I didn't realize I would be dealing with is the fact that the Empire Huntsmen use boots made out of lead, and I rolled double 1s for the charge distance and stumble forward an inch. So that's going to give that Doom Diver at least another turn of shooting and kind of slow my progression on this flank down. Over here, yeah, my knights are just looking to eat up some goblins. Not even the least bit concerned about that. I had kind of forgotten she had the nasty skulks and that they had killing blow the turn they pop out, but I'm still willing to handle that. I'm still thinking I've got this without too much concern. However, what I neglected to take into account was that once I closed up there, because of where the sinister statue was, I couldn't be quite flush. So this is maximized, but that little tip of a corner that overhangs on the left-hand side brings me within 8 inches of that unit. So 3 fanatics come screaming towards me. 2 fall short and I'm okay with. The other one, if you notice, it is literally millimeters in front of the knight unit. So now she set it up so that if my knights overrun, they're going to end up, or overrun or pursue, they're going to end up slamming into that fanatic and taking 2d6 strength 5 hits. So well played on her. Over here, I just spread out a little. I wanted to get those archers out of the way so that my spearmen can come in and move up my halberdiers a little bit. I think the halberdiers still have some... Oh, everything over there has light of battle on it. So at this point, yeah, from last turn. So at this point, I'm really not concerned about anything like fearing me off the table or something. And here's where I just fall for a level of monumental stupid. Again, I didn't respect the Mangler Squig, and so I decided, I got 1-up armor saves, let's do this. And I run up on the Mangler Squig, kill it, and end up taking 8 wounds for my troubles. And that was just totally unexpected. My armor save just completely failed. And then after my armor save completely failed, my leadership completely failed. So the Mangler's dead, but now I've only got 1 demigryph full, 1 demigryph with a single wound, and they're heading in the wrong direction. So yeah, don't think I'm ever going to willingly step on a Mangler Squig with any significant unit ever again, because that was probably the dumbest mistake I've made in recent memory. On the plus side, though, I managed to do some shooting and take off 2 of the Mangler Squigs here. I think it was just the archers that did it, because I don't have much shooting, and I shot the cannon at the savages this turn and took off 2 of them, I believe was what the final kill count was there. Or 3, okay, there it is. Gee, Josh, you should really look forward to the next picture before you say things. But yeah, so the cannon takes out 3 of the savage orcs. Not really a big deal there. There's still 27 of them to come wreck my face. So over here in combat, the nasty skulks pop out, and I absolutely eat their faces. Um, and the rest of my knights do pretty well too. So we just do a ridiculous number to that unit. They break, and at this point, I'm still thinking, you know what? I've got a good armor save. I should be fine. I'll hit that fanatic, but I need to start catching some points. I'm having some bad luck. I need to try and make up for it. And all I prove from that is apparently Imperial Knights have death wishes. Because I land on top of that fanatic, and he kills off 3 of my knights. And on top of that, I fail to catch the unit. So I'm in a terrible position right now. I'm stuck between the the squig herd on one side, those night goblins on the other, and it's going to be the night goblins' turn. So night goblins have no charges, but their random movement has squig hoppers bounce into archers, and I don't even get to stand and shoot because it's random movement, and there's nothing you can do but bend over and say, "Thank you, ma'am, may I have another?" And that's pretty much what those poor boys are going to do. Then over here, the rally fails, but they stop just before going off the edge, so I'm not getting those guys yet either. And her squig herd turns, just reforms to face the side of my knights. So now I have no choice but to reform and face them and present my flank, or my rear rather, to the other night goblins, which is just bad news. Over here, she slowly starts bringing the other archer night goblin unit closer to the huntsman. The way she's got it set up now is that she's not releasing the fanatics yet, but if they move forward even an inch, the fanatics are going to pop. So she's kind of using that as another line of defense for the Doom Diver, which I thought was excellent. Over here, the one of the fanatics chokes itself with its own chain. The other one moves like an inch towards the sinister statue, which is going to put it close enough to get blasted at top of next turn. And of course here the Savage Orc Biggins move up ominously. They're at a point now where I think we're both out of range of each other, so somebody else is going to need to make the next step up before hell gets unleashed one way or the other. You can see, too, the extra little pink shirt there. My daughter has decided to come and help Mommy beat Didu's mans. So, over here we go into shooting, and she just absolutely annihilates the Huntsman unit. I think there's 1 or 2 guys there left that break and run off the table. So, yeah, my right flank is pretty much gone, or at least at this point running with the with the Demigryph knight. And then to add insult to injury, during her magic phase, she gets Curse of the Bad Moon off, sends it through my knight unit. It kills 2 more knights and puts a wound on my general, and doesn't even have the consideration to stop in a place that's going to block the squig herd slamming into me next turn. Or more to the point is it will until I'm stupid and reform and face them, and I give her enough of a width to be able to wheel around the vortex and charge. And over here, the Doom Diver lands 1 more hit on the Demigryph, kills the last one. So now my last Demigryph needs 1s to wound or to rally. And I'll go ahead and spoil this one. It takes 2 turns, but he fails to do so and runs off the board. So the Orcs and Goblins have absolutely claimed the right flank of this battle at this point, and I feel ashamed. Now over here, I do get lucky and manage to kill 1 more of the squig hoppers before her general... Or no, her general just wrecks my face. I kill a squig hopper. The other two squig hoppers finish the unit. The unit. So they just absolutely killed it to a man. And in doing so, overruns through the raging torrent lake and right into my cannon. Which, frankly, at this point, the cannon deserves it. I placed it terribly, and even if I hadn't placed it terribly, it hasn't shot for crap this game, so it's pretty much gonna die. and I really don't care. I really don't like cannons. I'm terrible with them. Maybe I don't know how to use them, but I really just feel nothing for them when they die. So we go into my Empire turn. I think this is top of 3, and I fail to rally. My Demigriff runs only like 3 inches, I think. He's just taking his sweet time to get to the bottom end of that board. And with the only other action I had being facing the knights towards the squig herd, I go into magic. I get nothing off. She stops me on pretty much everything. And her squig hoppers just absolutely kill this cannon, and they're going to turn to face the flank of my spearman unit. And what this picture demonstrates is the urine of 15 terrified spearmen is flowing into that raging torrent, hoping that the urine will make the dangerous terrain even worse when they go bouncing across it. But that's really my only hope at that point. Her general is just kitted for murdering humans, and he does an excellent job at it. I have to give him credit. And so, top of Goblin turn. These Squig Herd and these Night Goblins both roll high enough to make a very unpleasant night sandwich. And, yeah, I'm real nervous about this. Just the static combat res is going to be a lot to come on. I need my general to just absolutely throw down like crazy on these guys and chop them up, or I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. And then over here, thank goodness, she managed to fail the charge into my halberdiers with the Savage Orcs, so I've got one more turn to buff them up and get them ready to get in there. And it's really going to be absolutely crucial that I do so. Otherwise, those savages are going to just eat my face, and I'm going to have nothing left. Over here, being that she has had absolutely nothing left on this side of the board to concern her, the Night Goblins start coming towards me. It's gonna take them a while, but they're working their way there. There is one wound on her Night Goblin Shaman there, who ended up eating a poison mushroom last turn and taking a wound during the casting. And of course she succeeds the random charge into these guys, and I got lucky, frankly. Only killed 4 spearmen. I'm stubborn. I managed to stick, and I actually turned around to face. I still think these spearmen are all dead, but it at least gives me a turn to get the Hurricanum out of the way for when he comes slamming into me here in a minute. And then over here, just bad went to worse. Knights just got absolutely brutalized. I broke. She ran me down with both units and killed my knights and my general. It's very embarrassing. I mean, they died to goblins and squigs. I did manage to take a good hunk of the squigs out, but it was still, I mean, strength 5, they're going to get through. So, we go to my turn. I end up slamming in the Hurricanum and the Halberdiers into the front of the Savage Orcs. Now, it doesn't look like they're together. It's actually just because of all my halberds sticking out in the front. They can't actually touch. But I'm in there, and this is kind of go big or go home time. Over here, my Demigriff failed to rally and managed to run off the board. Okay, and here was the magic phase I was talking about needing. I managed to get enough dice to get off Briona's Time Warp on the Halberdiers, and I had 2 dice left. She failed to stop the casting. Had 2 dice left, and through Speed of Light, miscast it. So my wizard exploded, hit 2 halberdier guys, killed them, and did a wound to the warrior priest. But I managed to get that off. So now all my halberdiers are +1 attack, always strikes first, weapon skill 10, initiative 10, and it's going to be an uphill battle for the savages to hurt them now. I'm pretty much ready to kiss the Hurricanum goodbye, but I'm going to put such a hurting on these orcs. I'm going to at least earn a little bit of cred for the Empire before the rest of her army realizes what's going on and turns around and comes and smashes my face off. Speaking of which, you can see her squig hoppers and the general stomping all over the fleeing bodies of my spearmen. He ended up killing all but 3 or 4 of them, and they broke and ran down and just got stomped all to death. And as predicted, with all of those buffs on it, I just absolutely murdered the savage orcs. Started off killing the character that was in there, and then they were 6-up ward saves and just absolutely brutalized the unit. They broke, went to run. Now, because that vortex from that Curse of the Bad Moon is still floating around out there, I restrained with my halberdiers, turned them around to face the hoppers, hoping to get some extra points there, and ran with the Hurricanum, which she had only managed to put 4 wounds on, so didn't quite kill the Hurricanum, but the Hurricanum did succeed in running down the Savage Orc Biggins and killing them. So, I think this is top of Goblin 5, or bottom of 5 Goblin turn. She tries to bounce her squig hoppers out of line of sight of my halberdiers, who have turned around, rolled an 11, which had her right on the edge. If she had rolled 1 more inch out, she would have been out of my view. So she uses the general's ability to reroll and rolls less. So she's pretty easy charge range here. The 2 units in the back you see turn around and start moving towards where their general was attempting to flee, hoping to come throw down on my basically last remaining unit. And over here, she turns in a little bit and moves forward with this unit of the Night Goblins, which gets her close enough to my Celestial Hurricanum to release Fanatic. And as you can see, the Fanatics absolutely do their jobs. I think she did something like 5 wounds when she only needed to do 1, but the Hurricanum just gets absolutely busted apart. And then in her magic phase, she manages to get off a magic missile and kill, I think it's 3 maybe 4 of the halberdiers. Nothing I'm overly concerned with. And then she she tried to shoot the Doom Diver there, and it misfired and just shot way off. So she'll get, I think, 1 more shot on it next turn, and that's it. Okay, and I think I've got a hint. Should be top of 5 now. I do charge in my halberdiers. They manage to hit and close the door here. They still have the... Well, they will... They had the speed buff from Time Warp, but those spells will fall off. I'm hoping I can get some buff spells up so that her general doesn't just eat my face. And I do manage to get Time Warp back up, but I miscast and lose Time Warp and Speed of Light from my general as he goes down to or my Wizard Lord, who goes down to a level 2. I end up killing the 2 hoppers from the unit, but she had challenged, my champion had accepted, and the general escapes. However, bottom of 5, her general fails to rally and runs off the table. Then the Fanatics, one of them chokes himself with a chain, the other 2 run into the sorceress portal in the vain attempt to kill it, and all three of them die from it. And then normal movement, she brings the night goblins as close as they can. I think she's at farthest range to shoot my halberdiers this turn, but she's got no other choice but to keep them coming. And here you see the squig herd comes so that next turn it'll be able to get a charge off on me, and the other goblins are up on top of the hill so that they can rain a little bit of death on me this turn. And with everything said and done from shooting, she manages to kill 2 more of my halberdiers, and that's pretty much it. So we go to top of turn 6 for Empire, and all I can do, because I'm behind on points at this point, is turn around, present a tempting target, and be ready to take my fate like a man. I do manage to get Light of Battle off. So if she hits me, she's going to have to kill the unit to a man to get the points for it. Because when she hits, she won't be able to get but my battle standard bearer as far as characters into the fight. And so bottom of 6, she hits me with both the herd and the night goblin unit, which I'm actually pretty happy with. This gives me a couple of shots to get her caster that's on the corner of that night goblin unit, even though she is going to successfully net me, so even my halberdiers are hitting at strength 3, so and then she moves these guys a little closer and itchy nuisances me again, I believe is what ends up happening. So my initiative is pretty terrible. The goblins are going to be swinging. And the combat goes bloody. I do manage to kill 1 more of her casters, but I mean, you can see she killed just a huge number of halberdiers. I think I did 5 wounds back. She ended up beating me by 5 or 6, but because I had Light of Battle, it means I automatically succeeded the break check, because it's a leadership check, and so that's what the game looks like at the end. Lots of greenskins on the board, not a lot of humans, which was decidedly not cool with me. Although we still had to go down to points because I did have a lot of characters in that unit. So we did have to go ahead and add up points and find out who won at the end of 6. Alright, so we added up the points and found out that by 223 points, my wife beat me. This was pretty exciting for her, as this is the first time she's actually beat me in Warhammer, so it was pretty impressive. And as far as this game goes, it's proven to me that while I do appreciate and am thankful for my wife's pity, she proves to me once again that she does not understand the idea of mercy. So, yeah, she went all out. I mean, it was a solid list. I think really the only thing that she could have done a little better is been more aggressive with the Savage Orc Biggins. I definitely think that I helped her along by not realizing exactly how much business the Mangler Squig gets done, and I will say that that is going to be the absolute last time that I step on it with demigriffs. So that was kind of embarrassing for those guys. All in all, I was really happy with the way the halberdiers pulled out. I think having Lore of Light is awesome. The augments that you can do and the stuff that it just turns your troops into killers. And if you had told me that a horde of halberdiers could handle a horde of Savage Orc Biggins, I'd have called you a lying bastard. But you throw Mind Razor and Speed of Light in there, and I mean, they cut through those greenskins like butter. So I was very, very pleased with that. I am kind of starting to get a handle on where I want this Empire list to go. I definitely think I like the halberdiers. I like the knights. I definitely like the Lore of Light. Those are all staying. The demigriffs obviously are staying. Just because I played them like a dumbass this turn doesn't mean that they're bad. The The Huntsman I'm keeping purely for the sake of I love the halfling miniatures, and that's what I'm using for them. So uh, I'm really not sure what else I'm going to put points in. I want to go a little bit more heavy infantry than cavalry, but I don't think the little unit of spearmen really does anything for me. And the cannon, I know ideally I should have one just because there's certain things that nothing else deals with, but I'm just so terrible at using them. I mean, I have cannons in every army that I own except for uh, vampire counts, and so that's ogres, dwarves, empire, and demons, and I am god awful with every one of them. They end up blowing themselves up. They just don't earn their points back. So maybe I need to go back to school on how to handle cannons, but I'm not happy with that in the list either. But I was very happy to see my wife play again. I know she is far more interested in the painting and the hobby aspect of this, but it fills my gamer geek heart with a little bit of joy when I get the woman I love mercilessly crushing my toys. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was an unexpected game and a treat for me. I hope it was a treat for you. And again, if you like what you saw, please subscribe below, like, and comment. And otherwise, I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.